All right, so I recently met with a group of managers from another company, and they were responsible for overseeing the cleaning work that was being done and overseeing the team that was there, and making sure their team was doing well, make sure the jobs were staffed, that sort of thing. They were also responsible for communicating with the customer and interacting with the customer to see if there were any needs, what sort of issues there were, and really just generally making sure the jobs are running smooth. Make sure supplies are on site and that things are running as they're supposed to. But one of the things that these managers did not have access to was financial information. And so as I began to discuss these jobs with these managers, and again, this is at a company different than mine, I began to see that they had a little bit of an uncertainty about their job in terms of their ownership over their accounts. And what I mean by that is, although they felt responsible, they didn't necessarily feel like they had the information to fully own those accounts. And so because they felt a little bit in the dark about certain things, they were maybe a little more tentative about making certain bigger picture decisions about those accounts. And part of that was because they were deprived of certain information about those accounts, specifically hours, budget reports, and the financials on the accounts. And this is pretty common. And one of the things as owners that we often are worried about is sharing too much information, and specifically financial information. And I think the biggest thing that we fear is that if we divulge information, people might see, wow, this account makes $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month. Why am I only making whatever it is that their salary is? And if you multiply this out by many accounts, someone could be overseeing a budget of $500,000, and that may generate whatever, $10,000, $15,000 a month in profit for those accounts, and so that may raise questions. But I think that's a fear that we need to overcome, and we do that by educating our team. And so here's the thing: if our managers are responsible for overseeing accounts, they can really manage better and are in a position to manage better when they see and understand the financials. Because when they do this, it gives them a whole picture of how the account is going, and that information gives them the ability to make decisions that they wouldn't otherwise be able to make well and effectively. Now, when you start giving information, financial information, to your team, you need to be able to educate them on what this information means and how it relates to the rest of the company. So just because a specific account may profit $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 a month doesn't mean that you as the owner are getting a check for $5,000 every month. So there are other overhead expenses such as insurance and utilities and accounting and payroll and taxes and all these things. And so when a team begins to understand how the financials of the business work as a whole, and again, you can share as much or as little as you want, and then they can see how their jobs relate to the whole picture, they're going to be in a better position to understand how the company works and then how their piece of the pie affects the rest of the company. And then what this does for them is it gives them more tools and more information to be able to make better decisions on the job. So if you want your team to begin taking ownership and treating these accounts like their own, making decisions without you that are for the best of the customer and the company as a whole, they need the information to do that. So when they can understand their budget, they can work to maybe reduce labor or increase efficiency to make an account more profitable, which could then in turn allow them to give pay raises to their team. But if all that they're told is this account has 20 hours a night budgeted at $9 an hour pay rate, that's it, and manage that account, make sure the customer's happy. That doesn't give them a lot of tools to work with, but if they know the overall budget, and then they can see that, wow, if I could increase efficiencies, maybe cut some labor and increase pay rates, I can maybe have a happier team that gets paid more, the job can be more profitable, and the company's better off. So when they have these kind of tools, they're going to be able to manage better. And then if you're able to put some incentives in place based on profitability, then and they're incentivized to make their accounts more profitable and their customers more happy, then they can not only help their customers make their jobs improve, but also increase the profitability of the company, which could in turn benefit them financially as well. So if you're not sharing financial information with your team, I would encourage you to at least start taking some steps in that direction. Don't let the fear of what people may think prevent you from doing that. I can promise you and speak from experience that doing that has been one of the best things that we've ever done at our company. It's created some unity with our team. People have been able to make more money, and we've been able to have managers who are in a better position to manage their accounts. So give it a shot. If you have further questions, reach out to me and I'd be happy to share with you our experiences and how we went about doing that. But let me encourage you once again, begin to share some at least job specific information, financial information with your managers, and I can promise you it's going to put them in a better position to do a better job for your team.